But Sadhguru, I guess he destroyed some of your points, I guess. Sadhguru from the
Okay,
Foundation.
arrange for a dialogue, I will debate him. You arrange, I will debate him. Sadhguru is a famous person, ask him. I will debate him. There are some people who have taken his speeches and given answers. Some people, not himself. Let him arrange. No problem, I will debate him. Okay? Because I know he's famous. Any famous personality, if he wants to debate, I don't want to debate him. He wants to debate me, open, any topic. Any topic on comparative religion. Hinduism and Islam, no problem. Okay? I'm welcome.
All the rubbish that we do will become tomorrow's culture and tradition of this land, isn't it so? If you want to know this life, which is myself, no tradition is… Tradition can inspire you. Tradition can put you in a direction. Tradition cannot take you there because this has to happen now, to you. Only then it's a living reality for you. Otherwise you will read in a book and believe it. But how do you know this works? I'm saying it should work. People ask me, Sadhguru, how do we know whether we have met a real teacher or a guru or not? I just tell them, look at his face, whether it's worked for him, what he's talking. Has it worked for him? That's all the question. If it's not worked for him, what is the point?
If he points out anything in my speech which I've said, which is out of context or which is not as per the Hindu scripture, I'll apologize. I will give him from where I got. All my research are not from non-Hindu scholars, from Hindu scholars. I give the reference. So most of the speakers say, yes, Zakir is right, but… Then the but comes. Many Hindus say, when you hear your speech, in 2 hours I've learned what I have not learned in 40 years of my life. Because in my speech I give references. Did Shri Ravi Shankar give any reference in his speech? Even one reference he gave. Did he give a single reference, brother?
No.
In my speech, how many references were there? So who's more authentic, a person who gives a reference, a person doesn't give reference?
You have read 10,000 things and you remember all that. I have not read anything. The value that you have is only the memory you have. But now I have a little gadget which knows 1,000,000 times more than you know. So now what is the value for you and me? What kind of a human being I am is the only value, isn't it? What nonsense you carry in your head is of no value. So this is a great time for me. This is great time for humanity because now you being a human being will become more important than what nonsense you carry in your head.
Because these people mix venom and religion to spread violence. They pay for the guns and the mercenaries. He backs suicide bombing. He abuses all non-Muslim religions. He says the propagations of all religions other than Islam is essentially wrong. His words today inspire terrorist attacks all over the world. The ISIS module in Bangladesh was inspired by him.
We believe that he was one of the mightiest messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We believe that he was the Messiah, translated Christ. We believe that he was born miraculously without any male intervention, which many modern day Christians today do not believe. We believe that he gave life to the dead with God's permission.
These kind of rudimentary beliefs, when I say rudimentary belief, I'm just saying, you believe something that you don't know. Let's understand the word belief first of all. How many of you believe you have 2 hands? Please raise one hand. Do you believe you have 2 hands or do you know you have 2 hands?
No.
If I start an argument with you that you don't have 2 hands, and if my argument becomes too powerful, one slap in the face and you know you got hands. So with hands you know. There are so many things you believe. You only satisfaction you have is, you know words and things that other people do not know, but you are a total mess.
He could have kept a chit, there's no objection. In a debate you can have notes in front of you, right or wrong? I don't have notes, he can have notes. Ask if Shri Ravi Shankar will have a second debate with me. Will he have? Even if you give him $1 million, he will not have.
I guess he will. But if he doesn't debate you, I'm sure one day I will. Yeah.
Most welcome. The day you can get 20,000 people for your audience, I will debate you.
In traditional terms in India, when we see people living out of their memory, we say, Ayyo karma. That means,
past memory is ruling them. They will never experience life. Everything I do not know, I just assume. What is the point of that? The moment you assume and you gather 1,000 people who assume the same things, and I assume something and I gather 10,000 people who assume the same thing, clash is inevitable.
The man who plotted the Al-Qaeda suicide bombings on the New York subway was inspired by him. We in India know all this. Our politicians know all this, and yet they won't act. We have, ladies and gentlemen, in our midst and on our soil, using our Indian passport, a man who inspires terrorist groups across the entire planet, and yet we won't act. And his TV channel, stop his broadcast. Put him under severe interrogation. Question him and let all agencies loose on this man to find out every naya paisa and rupee that comes into his funding. Take away his Indian passport and deny him his freedom to be the terror evangelist of the entire world. And if you believe in what I'm saying, then the hashtag is, and let's make it trend, the hashtag is Stop Zakir Naik. And let us all together come together and ensure that this figure of hate is stopped in every way possible. Under the law, the same law, the Indian law, the law that applies to us, and the law that he walks all over each and every day. Stop Zakir Naik.